Before the first light pierced the void, before stars burned or time breathed its first second, something, or someone, was. Our minds cannot truly grasp this idea because everything we know comes from somewhere. Every cause has an effect, every beginning has a before. But when we ask the question, where did God come from, we collide with a mystery so vast, so terrifyingly beautiful, that language itself trembles. This is not just a theological puzzle. It is the most haunting question in existence. One that has burned in the minds of prophets, philosophers, and skeptics alike. If everything has an origin, if every creation has a creator, then who or what created God? Was there a time before him? Did he emerge from some cosmic cradle? Or is his existence something beyond the reach of human reason, stretching into eternity like a horizon with no edge? As we journey into this mystery, prepare yourself, because the answer is not a neat equation or a story with a tidy beginning. It is a revelation that dismantles the limits of what we think reality is. And if you dare to follow this question to its end, it might not just change how you see God, it might change how you see everything, including yourself. In the beginning, or rather, before the beginning, there was no before. There was no ticking of clocks, no swirling galaxies, no echo of sound or flicker of light. And yet, in that endless silence, God was. Scripture describes him not as one who came into being, but as the one who is being itself. When Moses asked for his name, the voice from the burning bush replied, "I am who I am." Exodus 3:14. It was not a name like ours, tied to lineage or origin. It was a declaration of eternal existence, a being without cause, without start, without end. But how can that be? Our human logic rebels. Everything we see comes from something else. Rivers spring from mountains, children from parents, stars from nebulae. Even the universe itself, according to science, exploded into being from a singularity. Yet that singularity, that spark, still begs the question, where did it come from? Push back far enough and every road runs into the same wall. There must be a first cause, a reality uncaused by anything else. And throughout history, countless thinkers have concluded that this first cause can only be what we call God. Thomas Aquinas, one of history's greatest philosophers, called God the unmoved mover, the one who set everything in motion yet himself was never moved. Before time, he was timeless. Before space, he was boundless. Before matter, he was spirit. God does not exist within reality as we know it. Reality exists within him. He is not part of the cosmic story. He is the author. And authors by nature do not emerge from the pages of their own books. Yet this answer, while profound, is not cold or distant. The God who always was is not an abstract force but a living, personal being. The ancient psalmist wrote, "From everlasting to everlasting, you are God." Psalm 92. The Hebrew word used here for everlasting is olam, a word that suggests not just infinite time but existence beyond time altogether. In other words, God is not merely old, he is outside time itself. Time flows from him like a river from a hidden spring. He does not age, he does not change, and he does not begin. Consider this. If time itself had a starting point, then whatever exists beyond that point is not bound by before or after. Asking, what was before God, is like asking, what's north of the North Pole? The question collapses under its own weight. It assumes that God is inside the system he created, when in truth, he is the reason the system exists at all. He is not in time. Time is in him. But the Bible offers us more than philosophy. It shows that this eternal, self-existent God stepped into the very timeline he created. In the beginning was the Word, John writes, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, John 1:1. And this Word, Jesus, was not created. He was in the beginning with God, and through him all things were made. The uncreated Creator entered creation to reveal himself to those trapped inside time. It is a truth that shakes the foundations of logic. The eternal entered the temporary. Even the name YHWH, the sacred name revealed to Moses, reflects this mystery. It comes from the verb to be and means he who is, he who was, and he who will be. It is not a name bound by history but one that transcends it. It tells us that God does not simply exist, he is existence. Everything else borrows being from him. Without him, there would be no reality at all. Some ancient Jewish traditions speak of God as ayin, meaning no thing, not because he is nothing, but because he is beyond all categories. He is not a being among beings. He is the ground of being itself. Augustine once wrote, "God is not in time, time is in God." Before he said, "Let there be light," there was no before. And when the universe is gone, he will still be, unchanged, undiminished, eternal. But perhaps the most astonishing truth is this: the God who has no origin chose to create beings with one. He who has no beginning gave beginnings to galaxies, to rivers, to hearts and souls. He is the fountain from which all stories spring. And yet, in the vastness of eternity, he chose to know and love you. That means your existence, every breath, every heartbeat, is not an accident of cosmic chance. It is an intentional act by the one who never began. So where did God come from? He didn't. He always was. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the cause behind every cause. The reason there is something instead of nothing. The question then is not where he came from, but what we will do with the knowledge that he is. Because if God is eternal, then his love is eternal too. If his being has no beginning, then neither does his plan for you. And that brings us to a personal challenge. We spend our lives racing against time, fearing its limits, regretting its losses, chasing its future. But if the source of time himself invites you into relationship, then time is no longer your master. Eternity is. And in that eternity, you are not a fleeting moment. You are part of an everlasting story authored by the one who was and is to come.